is it possible that what you eat before bed could shape how clearly you think the next morning? Most people believe that memory loss is just a natural part of aging, something inevitable after 60, 70, or 80. They chalk it up to just getting old. When they forget why they walked into a room, or when they fumble for a room on air warnings. And what if I also told you that the solution might be hiding in the last thing you put in your mouth before you sleep? Let me tell you about Eleanor. She's 71 years old, from Michigan, retired school librarian, the kind of woman who used to remember every author, every quote, every birthday in her family without even writing it down. But around her 70th birthday, she started noticing a shift. It wasn't dramatic, it was quiet, like the sound of leaves falling in autumn. She'd open the fridge and forget what she was looking for. She'd walk into the living room and pause, confused, searching her own mind like it was a stranger's house. Her doctor told her it was normal. Aging brain, he said, but Eleanor settled for generic answers. She believed in elderly wisdom. She believed that her body, and especially her mind, was trying to tell her something important. So she started digging, reading late into the night. She found research, solid, peer-reviewed science, that showed certain nutrients could protect aging brains, reduce memory loss, and even improve sleep quality. And here's where the story changes. Eleanor made one small decision: not to overhaul her entire diet, not to start a new medication, just this: she began to eat differently at night. The first thing she added to her routine? Pumpkin seeds. That's right, a food so simple you probably wouldn't think twice about it. But here's what the science says. Pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, magnesium, tryptophan, and antioxidants, all of which play critical roles in supporting senior health and memory. Zinc's essential for neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new connections. Magnesium calms the nervous system and supports deeper, more restorative sleep. And tryptophan? It's the building block of serotonin, which helps regulate both mood and sleep cycles. In fact, a study from the University of Otago in New Zealand found that older adults with higher magnesium levels perform better on memory tasks and experience less cognitive decline over time. Eleanor began with just 1 tablespoon each night, slightly roasted, unsalted. She'd eat them slowly while sipping herbal tea and watching the stars from her kitchen window. And within 3 weeks, something shifted. Her mind felt clearer in the mornings. She stopped losing her train of thought in conversations. Her husband even commented, "You're back to finishing my sentences again." It wasn't magic, it was nourishment. But Eleanor didn't stop there. The second change she made was adding dried tart cherries to her night routine. Now, most people think cherries are just a sweet treat, but dried tart cherries are one of the richest natural sources of melatonin, the hormone your brain uses to signal sleep. But there's more. These little red fruits are packed with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that help reduce inflammation in the brain and slow down aging. A 2013 study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that seniors who consumed tart cherry juice daily slept longer, had fewer nighttime awakenings, and showed signs of improved memory performance. And for Eleanor, this wasn't just about sleep. It was about reclaiming mental clarity, peace of mind, and confidence in her own thoughts. She started mixing the cherries with her pumpkin seeds, no sugar added, just dried naturally. She called it her brain bowl. And after just 1 month, she told me something that still sticks with me. "I feel like my brain is thanking me." That's the power of intentional eating. That's the quiet influence of food, not as indulgence, but as elder reflection, as a message to your body that says, "I haven't given up on you." Think about this for a second. How many of us after 60 reach for cookies, crackers, toasts, or sweet snacks before bed? How many of us think nothing of it, assuming the day is over and what we eat doesn't matter anymore? But here's the truth. Your brain doesn't stop working when the lights go out. In fact, that's when it works the hardest. Sorting memories, repairing neurons, flushing out toxins, and it needs fuel to do that. The right kind of fuel. Eleanor's story isn't unique. Around the world, more and more seniors are rediscovering the wisdom of small nighttime rituals. Snacks that calm the body, sharpen the mind, and quietly fight off the decline that most people assume is unavoidable. But here's what we believe here on Elderly Reflections. Aging doesn't mean fading. Not if you choose differently. Not if you listen to your body and nourish it with care. A few pumpkin seeds, a handful of tart cherries, a moment of silence before bed. That's all it takes to begin. Because senior health isn't just about medication or appointments. It's about the small, consistent choices we make when no one is watching. So tonight, ask yourself, what are you feeding your brain before sleep? Are you giving it the nutrients it needs to remember the people you love, the stories you've lived, the lessons you still want to share? Or are you starving it slowly with empty habits? The truth is, memory loss doesn't happen all at once. It creeps in silently, like fog on a quiet lake. But just as slowly, just as gently, you can push it back with food, with purpose, with love, and we're just getting started. In the upcoming section, I'll introduce 2 more foods that Eleanor discovered. One warm and golden, the other soft and soothing. But before we go, let me ask you, where are you watching from? Are you in the US, in Europe, or somewhere else in the world? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to know. And if this story inspired you, if it sparked even one idea you want to try tonight, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss another story of motivation, inspiration, and life lessons from the elderly. Because memory loss is not a sentence, it's a signal. And if we listen closely, we might just remember how powerful small changes can be. They say the night is when the brain does its deepest work. Not in noise, not in light, but in stillness. After the day has faded, after the world goes quiet, that's when your mind finally has a chance to clean, to sort, to repair. But it can only do that if you give it the right tools. In the first section, we talked about Eleanor, the 71-year-old who began transforming her mind. With pumpkin seeds and tart cherries, she reclaimed her evenings, and slowly, her clarity. But what happened next was even more powerful. Because Eleanor didn't stop at snacks. She introduced something warm, something ancient, something golden. And that brings us to the third nighttime remedy for memory: turmeric milk, also called golden milk. Now I know what you might be thinking. Isn't turmeric for cooking, for curry? That's what Eleanor thought too. But then she read about curcumin, the active compound in turmeric that's been studied for its effects on inflammation, brain health, and even depression. It clouds your thinking. It slows your neurons. It quietly damages the brain's ability to form and retrieve memories. In older adults, especially those over 65, even low-grade inflammation has been linked to faster cognitive decline. That's where curcumin comes in. A 2018 study from UCLA found that seniors who took a curcumin supplement daily showed significantly improved memory and attention span, and their brain scans confirmed reduced buildup of harmful plaques associated with Alzheimer's. But here's the key. Curcumin is best absorbed with fat and black pepper. That's why golden milk is so special. It combines turmeric with warm milk, a touch of black pepper, and often a little honey. Eleanor started making it each evening, just half a teaspoon of turmeric, in a mug of almond milk, a crack of pepper, and a drizzle of honey. She said it wasn't just a drink, it was a message to her body. A way to say, I'm winding down now, I'm ready to heal. And within 2 weeks, she wasn't just sleeping deeper, she was remembering her dreams. That's not just poetic, that's biology. When sleep improves, the brain has more time in REM cycles, the phase responsible for memory consolidation and emotional balance. Now let's talk about the fourth food. This one's creamy, comforting, and already in most refrigerators. It's plain Greek yogurt. You may think of it as a breakfast food, but before bed it becomes something else entirely. You see, Greek yogurt is high in casein protein, which digests slowly overnight, feeding your brain and muscles as you sleep. It's also rich in calcium, essential for producing melatonin, the sleep hormone. But here's what's often overlooked. Greek yogurt contains probiotics, and the gut-brain connection is stronger than we ever imagined. Your gut doesn't just process food, it talks to your brain through nerves, hormones, and even immune pathways. A healthy gut supports clearer thinking, lower anxiety, and better sleep quality. In fact, a 2020 study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that older adults with more diverse gut bacteria perform better on memory tests. Eleanor didn't know all that science when she started. She just knew she felt bloated and foggy in the mornings. Her nutritionist suggested she try half a cup of Greek yogurt with a spoon of flaxseed and a few blueberries in the evening. Not as a meal, just a mindful snack. And you know what happened? Her digestion improved, her sleep felt smoother, and her mind stopped racing at bedtime. She said she stopped waking up at 3 a.m. with her thoughts spinning. That's not coincidence. That's what happens when you support your second brain, your gut. So now Eleanor's bedtime ritual includes a golden milk drink, a small bowl of Greek yogurt, and sometimes a few tart cherries on top. Nothing dramatic, nothing fancy, but deeply intentional. Because after 60, motivation doesn't come from pressure, it comes from results. And when you wake up feeling clearer, steadier, and more like yourself, that's all the inspiration you need to keep going. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you prepared for bed not just brushed your teeth or changed clothes, but actually prepared your body for restoration? Most people after 65 don't think like that. They assume the body is winding down for good. But here at Elderly Reflections, we don't believe that. We believe in life lessons from the elderly, in wisdom earned, not lost. And the truth is, your body still wants to heal. Your mind still wants to remember, you just need to give it what it's asking for. Not with big changes, just small, nightly acts of care. Like golden milk, like Greek yogurt, like choosing something nourishing over something numbing. So tonight, instead of reaching for cookies or mindless snacks, ask yourself, what does my brain need right now? What does my heart need to rest? You have more control than you think. And these little changes, they aren't about food. They're about dignity, about sending a signal that says, I'm still here. I'm still fighting for myself. And if this story speaks to you, if you feel even one spark of clarity or curiosity, don't let it fade. Share it, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Are you in the US, Canada, Australia, Europe? I'd love to know, because memory may fade, but connection keeps us strong. Let's keep building this community of reflection, support, and elderly strength. One night, one snack, one story at a time. There's something sacred about nighttime as we grow older. Not just because it's quieter, or because the body begins to ache for rest, but because, after 65, we begin to see our evenings differently. They're not just the end of a day, they're a reflection of how we've lived, and more importantly, how we want to live tomorrow. That's what Eleanor discovered, and that's what hundreds of seniors around the world are beginning to understand. That healing doesn't just happen at the doctor's office. Sometimes it starts in your own kitchen. 10 minutes before bed. In the first section, we explored the power of pumpkin seeds and tart cherries. Two simple foods that gently support memory, sleep, and calm. In the next chapter, we introduced turmeric milk and Greek yogurt. Nourishing choices that soothe inflammation, regulate melatonin, and strengthen your gut-brain connection. But tonight, we're not just naming foods. We're bringing it all together. Because the real secret to preventing memory loss after 60 isn't just what you eat, it's how you live. It's the rhythm you create, the ritual. Let me introduce you to George. He's 82, a retired dentist from Vermont. Widowed 6 years now. Quiet man, always reading something. His daughter once told me, Dad never forgets a birthday. But lately, he's been forgetting his own stories. It started slowly. He'd lose his train of thought, ask the same question twice in a conversation. One night while sorting through old photos, he looked at a picture of his late wife and whispered, I know that smile, but I can't place the moment. That scared him. More than any ache or pain ever had, his daughter sat him down gently and said, let's reclaim your nights, Dad. Let's fight back a little. So they did. Together they created a small tray he keeps by his armchair each night. 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds, a few dried cherry just piece. 3 months later, George isn't cured, but he feels more present. He sleeps through the night. He wakes up without that fog. And when I asked him what had changed, he said, I don't feel like I'm fading anymore. That's the kind of power we're talking about. Not miracles, not perfection, but memory, dignity, and quiet strength. So how do you bring this into your life? Start with timing. Your body needs about an hour to 2 hours to process these gentle foods before bed. That means your snack should ideally happen between 7 and 8:30 p.m. Depending on your sleep schedule. Don't eat too late, not because of calories, but because digestion pulls energy away from your brain. Next, keep your portions small. This isn't dinner, this is care. A tablespoon of pumpkin seeds, 6 to 8 dried cherries, 1 small cup of turmeric milk, half a bowl of yogurt. Rotate them, mix and match. Create your own brain tray. Think of it not as eating, but as fueling the restoration of your mind. And yes, be mindful of what to avoid. Sugary snacks, salty crackers, processed carbs, they might feel comforting, but they trigger insulin spikes and disturb your deep sleep. Alcohol, it might help you fall asleep, but it wakes your brain during the most important phases of rest. Too much fluid after 8 p.m., it leads to bathroom trips and risk of nighttime falls. The goal here isn't more food, it's more. But most of all, build your ritual. Turn off the television, dim the lights, prepare your snack with intention, sit by a window or under a warm lamp, reflect. Journal, read a line of poetry, breathe deeply. This is what elderly reflections are made of. Not memories of the past, but the choices that shape your present. Because every evening is another chance. Another moment to fight for clarity, independence, peace. And if you think it's too late, let me tell you one more story. There's a woman named Lydia, 86 years old, living in Minnesota. She started her bedtime snack ritual after watching one of our videos last year. She emailed us last week and wrote, "For the first time in 10 years, I remember my dreams again. They feel like little visits from my old self." That is not coincidence. That's connection. That's motivation. That's elderly wisdom at its finest. So tonight, as you get ready for sleep, ask yourself, did I give my brain something to hold on to? Did I choose foods that help me remember the people I love, the places I've been, the person I still am? If not, start now. Maybe just a spoonful of yogurt or a warm cup of golden milk. Let that be your signal to your body, your heart, your mind. I'm still here. I still care. And if this message touched you, please subscribe to this channel, Elderly Reflections. Like the video, share it with someone you care about. And tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? Europe, Canada, Australia? Let's build this global circle of senior health, inspiration, and quiet power. Because motivation doesn't end with age, it grows with purpose, with presence, and with the smallest choices. Made with love. Because you're not done yet. Your story still has chapters to write. And how you nourish yourself tonight might just shape how you rise tomorrow.